It's time, so we would like to begin
株式会社 ZOZO 2020
ZOZO's
年通期決算説明会を
FY2019 Consolidated Business Results
新型コロナ
announcement.
ウイルス感染症拡大防止への対応
In
に
order
伴います
to
が
prevent the
本日
spread
の
of
開催日
coronavirus,
を変更し
we changed the
ライ
way
ブ
we
動画
are
配信のみで実施しておりま
organizing
す
this briefing, and we will only be
それで
offering
は
a
出
live
席者に紹介
streaming.
いたします
Now, if I can
代
introduce
表
the
取締役社
participants,
長兼 CEO
Representative
澤
Director,
田幸太郎でございます
President and CEO Kotaro Sawada. Thank you.
取締役
And
副社長
Director
兼 CFO
and Executive Vice President Koji Yanagisawa.
以上2名でございます
So we have two
それでは
presenters today.
CFO の柳沢よりご説明いたします
CFO Yanagisawa will take us through the business results.
皆様こんにちは。
Good afternoon.
オンラインでということで、
Yes, we are holding this briefing session online, but I will keep my mask on today
取締役副社長
just in case. I'm the Director and Executive Vice President
昨今の新型コロナ
Yanagisawa.
ウイルス感染拡大による影響を受けまして、
In
感染拡大が
due
防止
to
の観点から
In order to prevent the spread of the coronavirus, today we will only offer a YouTube streaming
なお
of
本日のプレゼンテ
our
ーション資料
presentation. The documents
IR サイトの方に
have already been uploaded to our website, the RR site, so please take a look.
また新型コロナウイルス感染
Moreover,
拡大による当社事業への影響につきまして
in
は、皆様ご関心が
respect
非常に
to
高い
the impact that the coronavirus has had on our business, I'm sure you're very interested, but Sawada will take us through that later on. But for myself, I would like to give you an overview of the consolidated business results for FY2019.
早速ですが、当期の決算内容になります。
So, in terms of our
商品取扱い高の
highlights,
方ですが、前年
the
同期
gross merchandise value
6%
was up 6% year on year, landing at 345 billion. The operating profit was up by 8.7%, landing at 27.8 billion. The operating profit margin was 8.1%, improving by 0.2 points year on year.
2019年4月25日に
On April 25th, 2019, we announced our annual target, but against that target, we have fallen short, both in terms of the GMV and OP.
商品取扱い高の方が
We've achieved 94% of our GMV target and 87.2% of the OP target.
なお先日2020
And the
年
other
4
day,
月の22
April
日
22nd, 2020, we've disclosed a revised fiscal plan,
そちらからは大きな変更はございません。
but we have not made
商
any
品取扱い高の伸び
major changes to that. The major factors as to why the GMV did not grow as we planned. Until the second quarter, we were progressing steadily, but third quarter onwards, we saw the tax hike and also record warm temperatures in the winter. And the economic situation became much worse. That is why the GMV finished short.
続きまして、4級の会計期間における
In terms of
数字
the
のご説明になります。
fourth quarter,
商品取扱い高は前年
the
同期
GMV
の 3.2% 増の
was up 3.2% year on year, landing at 91.2 billion. OP was 69.3% up year on year, landing at 8.5 billion, and the OPM was 9.3%. OPM improved by 3.6 points year on year. The GMV slowed down due to the warm climate, which continued from the third quarter, and also the previous fiscal year, we had a paid membership service, ZOZO Arigato, but we've seen an impact from that. That is why we've seen a slower growth. And in the fourth quarter, the economic situation still remains sluggish. So we focus on efficiency and curtailed promotions intentionally. So that is why the GMV has slowed down as well. But on the other hand, the OP improved because we don't have the discounts from ZOZO Arigato and the valuation loss from the private brand business. We no longer are seeing that. That is why the OP has significantly improved. Next, taking you through the details of our performance, starting with increase decrease analysis of the operating profit. So OP went from 25.6 to 27.8 billion, up by 2.2 billion. The reason why it improved, there's four major reasons. First one is the increase in sales from consignment shop commissions, which was 4.6 billion. And from the third quarter last fiscal year, we started the advertising business, but this has improved the gross profit by 1.3 billion. And other sales improved the gross profits by 2.7 billion. And we also saw a decrease in other expenses, which improved the OP by 0.02 billion. There are three factors that decrease the operating profit. We've seen an increase in logistics centers as well as employees, so the fixed costs have gone up by 1.9 billion, and the increase in variable costs against the gross merchandise value, which was 4 billion. It's proportionate to GMV, and we also saw an increase in promotional costs from the PGA Tour tournament ZOZO Championship, which was 0.6 billion. But in terms of the breakdown of the fixed and variable costs, please look at the document. This is the balance sheet. If you look at the current assets, the products have decreased because we booked the valuation loss for the private brand inventory. So it's significantly decreased. Next, consolidated cash flow. Here too, this fiscal year, expenses related to the private brand decreased significantly, so the cash flow from operating activities improved significantly as well. On the other hand, cash flow from financing activities also improved in comparison to the previous fiscal year, since last year we bought back our treasury stocks, so this has also dramatically improved. Moving on to the GMV. This is a breakdown by business. If you can look at the breakdown by business in the earnings summary. But starting from December 17, 2019, we launched our ZOZO PayPay Mall shop, and the GMV so far has been 6.19 billion. So it has been doing well immediately after launch. Next, moving on to SG&A. This is the total for the fiscal year. The SG&A for this fiscal year was 24.9% against the GMV, up by 0.4% year on year. The reason why the percentage against the GMV has gone up, there's three major reasons. One is the increase in point promotions. So this was up by 0.5%. And the decrease in average retail price, as well as increase in logistical costs from increase in logistics centers, was 0.3%. And the other one is the third factor is the rent from increasing logistics centers, which was also 0.3%. But the SG&A has also come down there are three major reasons.
一つ目が、
The
このス
first
ーツ
one
という
is
のがですね、
the
ZOZO
ZOZO
スーツ
suit.
を大
The
量
previous
発行で
fiscal
きるよ
year,
うになったので、広
we
告宣伝費です
distributed
が、
large
大量に削
quantity
減
of
できた
ZOZO
りとか、
suit, but we are no longer doing that. So
2
the
つ目が人
advertising
件費の
costs have
全
come
コ
down
ス
by
トの費用の分振り
0.5%.
上がり、これの増
And
加分の影
last
響、
fiscal
これ
year,
が
we saw
前期
provisions
は
for
これ
accrued
が大きくなっ
bonuses,
てい
but
た
this
理由でした
fiscal year,
ということ
it
で、
has
会費
leveled
の
off or
増減
normalized.
がマイ
So
ナス
the
ということで
payroll
した。
has come down by 0.1%.
で、3つ目が、前
The
期はですね、
third
高額
point
のスポット費用等が
is
発生
the
するで
high
すとか、
one-off
そういったもの
expenses
が
that we
今
saw
期は
last
発
fiscal
生し
year,
ませんで
but
した。
this
と
fiscal
いう
year
こと
we
で、
didn't
マイナスが出て
see
きまし
any
た。
of that. So
といった結果
that
に
has
なります。
brought down this SG&A by 0.1%.
続きまして、営業利益、営業利
Next,
益率の
the
推移
operating
がこちら
profit
に
and
な
the
ります。
operating profit margin has
まあ、先ほど
progressed,
ご
as
説
you
明の
can
通り
see
です
here.
ね、販
As I
管費と
explained
販
earlier,
管費率の増増
SG&A and
というものがございまし
against
た
the
が、まあ、一
GMV
方
has
で、広告費
increased.
用、我
However,
々の収
the
入である
growth
と
of
も
the
大
ad
きく大
business,
きく
this
影響
is
します
our
が、
revenue,
あるいは
it's
前期発
has
行した
grown,
ZOZO
and
アリガト
also
等に起因するですね、値引きのコスト、こ
any
れがまあ
discount
減った
costs
と
related to
いう
ZOZO
ことによっ
Arigato, we've
て、
seen a
粗大
decrease
変
in
数
that this
が
fiscal year.
改善したと。
So
まあ、
these
そうい
two
った影
factors
響で
has
ですね、
improved the
営業
gross
利益率自
profit.
体は前期比は
Therefore, the
改善
OPM has
という
improved
ことに
slightly
なるわ
from
け
the
でございます。
previous fiscal year.
続きまして、ここからの
Now,
主な KPI の
I would like to go over the ZOZOTOWN KPIs.
で、ここからのこの資料以降ですね、KPI に
From
関し
this
まして
page
は、
onwards, the
ペイペイモール
KPIs
の
do not
実績は
include
含
the
めていません。あくまで
PayPayMall
もこの方の
performance.
本
This
編
is
のみの
just the
数
actual
字になります。
ZOZOTOWN, original
まず年
ZOZOTOWN
間購
shop
入者数に
only.
なります。
The
年間
annual
購入者数
buyers
前四半期比プラスの12万
was
人
up by
が829万
120,000
人。
people, landing
アク
at
ティブ会員が前四
8.27
半
million.
期比プ
Active
ラス40
members
万人と
increased by
全体の
40,000,
83%。
landing at 6.83
ベスト
million.
購入者は
And
前
the
四半期
guest
プラス
buyers
8万
increased by
人の123
80,000,
万人
up by
という結果
landing
に
at
なっております。
1.43 million.
アクティブ会員数ですが、アクティブ会
The
員数
number
は
of
既存のアクテ
active
ィブ会員向
members
けの施策実施で、微増という結果に
increased
なってお
slightly
ります。
as a result of
一
our
方で、新
initiatives
規の
for
アクティ
active
ブ会員
members,
の
but
数は若
in
干少ない
terms of
という
we
結
had
果
some
で終わっております。
difficulty acquiring new active
一方で、ゲス
members,
ト会員数は
but
ですね、
we
増
saw an
加
increase in
2.8 になっておりま
guest
して、トー
buyers.
タルの年間購入者数
So the
は
total
まあ、増
annual
加という
buyers
形で、
have
第4クォー
increased.
ターは終わることができて
So
おりま
that's
す。
how the fourth quarter progressed.
続きまして、出店の
Next,
複
number
数
of shops on ZOZOTOWN.
第4クォーター末時
In the
点のショッ
fourth
プ数
quarter,
は
as of the end of fourth
1337 ショ
quarter,
ップ
we have
ということで、四半期比
1,337
末
shops,
からですね、8ショッ
which
プ
is
減少
a decrease of 8 shops since the
で、これは
previous
セール期のためです
quarter.
ね、
This
例年
during
と同様、
the
こ
sale
の第4クォ
period
ーターの新規
in the
出
fourth
店
quarter,
が
we
少ない
usually do
とい
not
うこと
see
と、
many
もう
shops
一つ
joining
要因
our
としては、
platform. And another
新型コロ
factor
ナウイル
is
スの
that
影
due to
響
the
で出店が延期
coronavirus,
になったショップというものもいく
some
つか発生しています。
shops delayed their
これ
plans
の
to
影響
join the
で前四
platform.
半期比では
That
減
is
少
why
という
we've
形ではあり
seen
ます。
a decrease in the total number of
ただし、
shops.
退店する
Having
ショップ
said
に関し
that,
ましてはですね、
in
売上
terms of the
収入
shops
です
that
とか、
have
あるいは
left
売
our
上収入
platform
と
have
いう
left
と
due
ころで、
to
そこは
poor
取り込み
performance
が
or
な
the
いものが
closure
多い
of
で
the
す。
brand. So we don't see any new trends in terms of the
で、
reasons
前
why
期
the
累
shops
計で
have
すね、
left.
年間通しての出
And
店数ですが、
this
トータルでは
fiscal year, we saw
184ショップ。
184 new
で、
shops,
純増は92ショップ
and
という
we
形で終わりました。
increased a net increase of 92 shops.
この第4クォーター
In
の
the
主な
fourth
出店ショッ
quarter,
プになりますけれど
we
も、
welcomed
ビームスさんが展開さ
couple
れていらっしゃるオンライン
major
限定のですね、
brands,
ビーム
Beams
ス
Dot, which
あるい
is
は
the
老舗
Beams
国産シューズブラ
online
ンドの
only shop,
朝日シューズ
and
が
also a famous domestic
そういったと
shoes
ころが
brand,
ございます。
Asahi Shoes. So those are the types of shops that joined in the fourth quarter.
続きまして商品単価。
Next, the
こ
average
ちら
retail
は
price
3909
was 3,909 yen, down by 0.7% year on year.
引き続き暖冬の影響と
So I mentioned the warm winter already, and also we saw a long sales season as well. So we saw more products being sold at a discount.
昨年は
That is why
を実施したことによって
and moreover, in the fourth quarter previous year, we had a major discount promotion as part of our ZOZO Arigato program.
有料会員においては
And pay members
通常よりも高価な
purchase more expensive product want to take advantage of this promotion. So that is why In comparison, the average retail price has fell by double digits. This has also increased the average order value, which was 8,304 yen, down by 12.5% year on year. This is also impact from ZOZO Arigato as that had a significant impact. So that was the business results for FY2019, ending in March 2020. Now moving on to the business forecast for FY2020. The forecast for FY2020 is yet to be determined due to the coronavirus. There are concerns that the Japanese economy will also slow down and alongside consumption. So our business environment too is changing quite a bit. And this may significantly impact our business performance. The major reason is that we don't know when the corona situation will get under control, so we cannot disclose our plans at this time. But once it seems like things are getting under control, and we can accurately and reasonably estimate the impact that this may have on our business, we will share without delay our forecasts. So it's very difficult to forecast our business performance going forward, so we can't really talk about the dividend and payout ratio, but in terms of our policy, what we're looking at, we would like to aspire to keep the dividend payout ratio of 40% in FY2020 as well. That is it from myself. I would like to pass the microphone over to Sawada, who will talk about our vision and our plans going forward. Good afternoon. I'm Sawada, the president, and I would like to talk about the current situation and the future. So the current situation, how we are operating our business at the moment, many of our business and services that we offer, we have been able to operate them without any major issues. We have been impacted, but we are trying our best. But on the other hand, our businesses have not stood still, but there are some inconveniences, so we have had to limit our operations quite a bit. In terms of the working from home, we've asked our employees to work from home mainly, and we have not foreseen any impact that this has had on our business. It's going well. Having said that, logistics and customer centers, fulfillment and customer support, the employees working in these areas must come to work and work on site. So as you can see on this site, we have implemented countermeasures for them. Having said that, we need to actually slightly change our services. So customer service, we are no longer taking phone calls. And in terms of fulfillment, we're actually asking our customers to give us more lead time. So the services are not, in terms of quality, not the same, but we are still operating. And unless something major happens, if things go as it is now, then we will continue to offer our services. That is that's the current situation that we are facing. But we would like to also give you an overview of what the impact that the fashion industry as a whole is seeing. I'm sure you can imagine, but
に
The fashion
大きな
industry
危機を迎えており
is
ます。
facing a great crisis.
実際リアルの店舗に関してはですね、
The brick and
実
mortar
はブランドさん
shops,
の中でのその3分の2ぐらいですね、
so
日本人を中
2/3
心にしながら3分の
of the
2の
shops
店を閉じなきゃいけない
in
と
the
いう状
metropolitan
況にブラン
areas,
ドさんが直面していると。
probably the brands had to close their stores,
もちろ
many
ん
of their
生
stores,
活必需品ではファッションはないわけで、
because fashion
こ
is
の状
not
況が
a
継続すると致し方ない
necessity,
部分
so
があると思っており
that
ま
is
すけれど
something
も、
that we have
一
to
方で
accept.
改めて認識するのは、
But
こ
what
のファッション、我々が生きているファッション業界のファッ
our
ション業界
the
というのは、
fashion industry,
やっぱ
fashion
り世の中
products
に豊かさを与えて、
still enriches
世の
people's
中に
lives,
笑顔を
and
絶やさず送り届けると
it
いう
helps
ような
people
使命を持ってい
smile
る
so
業界
that
であるということで、
we
必
have
ず
a
この業界をですね、守っていかないと
great responsibility the industry has, so we need to help
ファッ
protect
ショ
the
ンなどに
industry
関
as
係ありま
well.
せん。我々だからこそできること
So
が、
there are
こ
things
の
that
環境下で
we
必ず
can
ある
do
はず
because we
と
have
思
been
いなが
working in the
ら、
fashion
必死
industry
に
for a
なって
very long
業界
time.
の
So
下
we
支えをしてい
are
るという状
trying to
況で
support
ご
the
ざいます。
fashion industry as much as we
じゃあ
can
具体的に何を
by
やったかと
offering
いうお話なんですけ
a
れども、
foundation. What we are
まず現
doing
在
in
足元はですね、
detail
非常に
is
シンプルなん
that
ですが、
it's quite simple,
販売
but
力でとにかく業界を下支えすると
we
い
are
うことに、
concentrating,
全力で集中している、状況ではご
we
ざい
are
ます。
offering a full support to the
で
industry by
まあ、ブランド
helping
さん
sell
と
their
してはですね、
products.
やはりこの状況になると、
Brands in this situation
に関してがやはり、事業
are
における命綱であると。だから実際そう言って、
selling online
い
is
た
a
だいたブラン
survival
ドさんも
tactics
あ
for
ります
many
し、
brands now.
本当に、ZOZO が売れなきゃ終わりなんだよという
So
ことも
many
伝えたりします。
brands have said if they can't sell on
そういった期
ZOZOTOWN,
待も
they're
込め
not going to
て
be
いただ
able
いている
to
中で、
survive.
我
So
々
we
が
know
で
that
き
they
ることとして
depend on
は、
us, and what we can
まず全
do
力で、預け
to
ている
answer their
財産につい
plea
て、
is that
販売をして
help them
リスト
sell.
して
So
お客さんにお渡しすると。
we
そうい
want
ったところ
to
が
sell all
まず
the inventory
我々
that
と
they
して
provided to
今
us, so we can
やるべき
provide the
ことを
proceeds to the
やっている
brands. So
ところ
that's
で、
our
集
mission,
中していると。
and so we are fully concentrating
もちろん
on
我々
helping
も
them,
先ほ
helping
ど
the
申し上げ
brands
ました
sell
よう
product,
に、
as we
万全
mentioned
な体
earlier.
制で、できているわけではございませんけれども、
It's
この
not,
様
we
々
have
に
not been able
フ
to
ァッ
offer
ショ
the
ン業
same
界を支
quality
え
as
ていくため
before,
に
but
考え
in
てフル
we
に
are doing the best we
いくよう
can
な
to fully
状況でございます。
concentrate our support and resources.
まあ、我々 ZOZO という会社はですね、こういう
And
有事の時に
ZOZO,
は、まあ、いろんなところにですね、
in these type of
率先
situations,
的に寄付金を出したりという
we
ところで、まあ、
often
社会、消
donate
費者の方
to
にですね、
various
とにかくサポ
charities
ートするようなポリシーで今まで
to help
してきて
support
おりますけ
the
れども、
society and our
今回
consumers,
ば
and
かりは
that's
です
what
ね、
we've done
ま
in
ず
the
はそのファッ
past.
ション
But
業界というところに
now
そこが抜けないようにですね、
we want
しっかり
to,
下支えをすると。
at this moment in time, we want to fully support the fashion industry. That's our key focus at the moment.
一方で、この
On the other
今
hand,
後というお話になる
going
んですけれども、
forward,
もちろんこの状況がずっと続くわけではございません。いつかは明けてくる。
the situation will probably
その時に
we'll have to, and we'll see a light at the end of the tunnel. And when that happens, what we need to do is,
ご存知の通りですね、そのデジタル
as you can imagine, we need to, I think that the shift to digital is going to accelerate.
でそのデジタルシフトの波に
So
我々としてもですね、しっかり先導して、
we need to lead this shift to digital
早期の回復を
and help the industry recover as quickly as we can.
もちろんデジタルで我々に
So
世界でございますので、
digital is a world that we've lived in from the beginning. So we hope to lead and help the industry recover.
一方でリアル店舗
So
の
that's to be
デジタル
expected of
かな
us.
り進むと
And we believe that many brands will shift from physical to digital as well. So we're thinking about what we can do to help them do that. And one thing that we should do, we can do, is to help provide support to the physical stores, providing our assets, our know-how. So we hope to help the brands and their brick and mortar stores recover as quickly as they can from this situation. And last fiscal year, we joined the Z Holdings group And we think that we have been able to fully leverage the synergies with Z Holdings. Now, at the moment, the entire group, there we have many group companies, so we have been able to share crisis management best practices and information. So we have been able to receive and share best practices, and it has been has proven very worthwhile to be part of a big group. And we, in terms of fully supporting our brands, we have the Pepemon, which is a great weapon for us. So we have been able to, we will be able to fully support the brand this way as well. And then after COVID-19, we will help the industry recover. At the end of March, Yamato and we joined, we announced the cross-shopping service. We will explain this more in detail, but this will also help the physical brick-and-mortar stores. Other than that, we have a PayPay flea market, and where we will offer ZOZOTOWN products. So 1 click, 2 click, consumers will be able to sell the products that they bought on ZOZOTOWN on PayPay flea market. And engineering resources, which is a major point, but there is a shortage of engineering resources, so we would like to share the engineering resources that we have. I think that these are areas where we can expect great synergies. So that is our current situation and the future plans or policies. Moving forward, of course, this depends on when the corona situation will get under control, but 2020 is a year of ZOZO, so this is what we would like to do going forward. First, at the beginning of the year, we announced at the third quarter announcement as well that we're going to focus on more fashion and fashion tech. These are two keywords for us. And this is, we will bear this in mind while we operate our business, and this policy hasn't changed. So we will bear this in mind as we operate our businesses. And under this concept, what we will be doing is these three things. These are our three key pillars. One, we've explained this at the beginning of the year, but we broke it down so that it's more straightforward. First one is to expand the selling space. Next is expanding product lineup. And then the third is expanding the revenue model. So we will expand in these three areas to grow the ZOZOTOWN business going forward. So going into detail first, how we've grown in the past. So this is a brief explanation. Until now, ZOZOTOWN or ZOZO has grown as a result of products. We have a lot of brands now, but in the very beginning, we only had a couple brands. So we've amassed more and more products. So that's one of the reasons why we have been able to grow, and that's of course not it. Before there were other players, we continued to make improvements to make our website user-friendly and answer or to be attractive to our users. We have continued to make improvements. And we've also tried various promotions when no one understood what advertising online was about, but we conducted various promotions to attract customers. And as a result, ZOZO Town has grown
そして
due to these
これをどう
three
受けたかというお
efforts.
話なんですけれども、
Now, going forward,
これをです
what we
ね、
want to
売
do
り場の拡張というところと、
is to
商材の
expand
拡張
the
という面で、
selling
両方に
space
両
and
輪
also
両
product
輪の
lineup.
ようにですね、広げていくと
So we
いう
want
戦
to
略
grow
で
in
進めて
both
まいりたいと思います。
directions.
売り場拡張というのは何かというと、
What we mean by
我々が
selling
今ここで掲げ
selling
た
space
いただいている
expansion
何十万点の商品、
is
ブランド、かなり
we
の
have
数のブランド
about
ブランドさんの数、
830,000
こういった
items
ものを
and
ですね、
a
店
lot
頭
of
に出していくと
brands,
いうお
but
話
we
になりま
want
す。
to
その
offer
一つの事
them
例が
on
ペイペイモール
other
ということで、去年第一弾が
shops. So PayPayMall is
実現
one
できたと思っています。
of these
このパターンをです
efforts.
ね、
So that's
ど
our
んどんどん
first
広
step
げていこう
in
とい
this
うのが
direction.
売り場拡張
And so we want to
戦略になります。
try to open many more shops like this. And on the other hand, product lineup expansion is another area that we would like to tackle. And I will go into this in detail later, but ZOZO mat, ZOZO shoes is a category. It's an example of how we plan to do this. So with ideas and engineering. So we want to propose a new way of selling. So that's what we mean by product expansion. And this will help us grow the gross merchandise value.
はい。じゃあここからですね、それぞれのお話に入っていき
Now,
ます。
explaining each in more detail. First of all, starting with selling space expansion. So the first step was PayPayMall. So looking back at what this has done so far, how this has done so far, Yanagisawa mentioned this performance earlier, but important contribution that it has had is acquisition of new users. So black is the ZOZO Town, new user acquisition for ZOZO Town, but red is for the PayPayMall. The new users joined through PayPayMall. Now, this does not contain any overlap people who have registered to both. So these are people who did not use ZOZO Town before. And as you can see, 50% of ZOZO Town user acquisition we're gaining from PayPayMall. So not just financial contribution, we're seeing a contribution in new users, which is important. Another good example is the the age breakdown. As you can see, ZOZO Town, we have many users in their 20s and 30s, but PayPayMall, we're seeing more users in their 40s. So this is complementary. So this is what we expected. However, we believe that these two shops are performing different roles as we planned. So we would like to continue to try new things to make sure and ensure that both are growing. So if we starting April, we have started offering brand coupons on PayPayMall, which started on ZOZO Town. And we also tried out new promotions on PayPayMall, which we can also utilize on ZOZO Town as well. So we want to take advantage of the synergy between the two and take advantage of the snowball effect that this may have. Next, the second step to expanding selling space is one way to do that is ZOZO China. So January, February,
コロナの影響によって、
due to Corona,
プロモーションが打てない状況
we
というの
weren't
が続い
able
ておりますけれど
to
も、
promote
それがですね、3
ZOZO
月に
China,
なって
but
から、
in
だいぶそ
March,
の影響がなくなってきましたので、
we
遅
have
れましたけれど
been,
も、プ
it
ロモーショ
is
ン
a
が
little
今
late,
年
but
か
we
ら
have been
今
able to
は予約され
invest
た方
in
が十分に増えてきている
promotions,
とい
and
う
now
状
we've
況にな
seen
っていま
a
す。
gradual increase in the GMV.
はい、続いて、商材拡張の最後の、ごめんなさい、売り場拡張の最後
And
になり
the
ますけれども、
last example for
ウェ
expanding
アの
selling
ですね、
space,
ウェアに、カートをつけます。
we're going to add a cart button
で
to where
現在どういう状況になっているかという
currently
お話なんですけれども、我々が運営しているウェアおかげさまで、
where that we
1200万
operate,
MAU、
MAU is 12 million at the
1200万
moment.
人のお客さんが月間を訪れていただいているといったような
So the monthly
サー
active
ビスになり
users
ます。
is 12 million
で
for where
現
at
状
the
ですね、こ
moment.
こから、
And
欲しい
if
商品を選んだ時に
our
は、この
customers
カート
want
の方
to
に、
purchase anything,
飛んだか、アプ
they
リをま
will
たぐ形で、
be
決済を
taken
するようにな
to
っており
the
ますけれども、
ZOZOTON app.
そこでなかなかドロップする人が多いという課題があ
But
り
there
ます。
are many people who
で
drop
すの
out
で、
during
も
this
うウェアで
process.
そのまま
So
その
we
番組の
want
商
to
品をですね、かつ
complete
ウェアのボディで紐付けられた商品を購入できるような
the
仕組みに
purchase
してしまおう
procedure on
という
where.
ことを今実現しようと考
So
えてい
that's
るところ
something
で
that
す。
we're working on right now.
そうすることによって、
By doing
かな
so,
り、お客様にとってはストレスフリーで、お買い物が
it
で
will
きると
be
いう
very
ふうになります
stress-free
ので、
for our
非
Wear
常に我々
customers
と
to
しても
purchase
大きな
products.
成
So
果を
we have great expectations for the impact that this
はい、
may have.
以上のですね、売り場拡張ということ
So
で、
that was
あ
some
る
of the
商品、ブランド
initiatives
をで
that
すね、
we
い
are
ろんな事例
looking
に
at
出す
to
とい
expand
ったよう
selling
な戦
space.
略になっています。その事例としていくつかお話申し上げました。で、続いて、商
Next,
材拡張の方ですね。
focusing on product
こちらに関しま
expansion.
しては、ZOZO マット、ZOZO シューズ、これが
One example is ZOZO Mat and ZOZO Shoes, which we introduced last fiscal year.
状況ですけれども、
ZOZO Mat,
させていただき
as you
ま
can
す
see
通り、
here,
非常に好調です。
is doing very well.
119
We've
万
already
人の方に
delivered
させていただきました。
1.9
で、これは家庭でも販売する
1.19 million
お客
ZOZO
様の
mats.
方からですね、
This is
オーダーをいただいているという形で
our
届いてい
customers
ます
ordered
はい
the ZOZO
と
mat,
いう状況です。
and we
で、
delivered
計測者の方は
against this order,
93万人、
and 930,000
もそんなに
people
変わら
have
ない
taken
と思っています。
their measurements of their
こ
feet.
ちらですね、
So we will nearly
119
hit 1 million.
なんですけど、119万人の方全員がですね、ごめんなさい、93万人の方の内訳なんですけれども、
And the breakdown of 930,000, we can't really go into detail, but
何個か例えば家族ですとか友達ですとかそういった
we've seen some users use One ID to measure
トータル測定していただいた人は
the feet of their entire family.
集計になっております。
But we've also accounted for that as well. So
このように好調な形
this is not 930 IDs, it's 930,000 people.
嬉しいところではあるんですけれども、
And as a result,
要は ZOZO マットを使った人、その人が初めて ZOZO を使いました。
we've seen
いらっしゃるんですね。
new customers who order the ZOZO mat order purchase products for the first time. So in March, nearly 20% of we've seen 20% more new customers in March as a result of ZOZO Mat. So the product expansion strategy is not just selling more products, it's we want to utilize new ideas and new technologies for selling products. And of course, we hope that the GMV will improve, but we also hope that we'll be able to welcome new customers who will be using our service for the first time. So this has gone well, so we hope to apply the learnings from this initiatives to other ideas. And on SNSs, many people have praised the ZOZO mat for accuracy, and people have said that the recommended products on ZOZOTOWN fit them perfectly. So this has given us great confidence. And we hope that utilizing ZOZO Mat, we hope to improve the sales of our shoes category drastically. Next idea is D2C. D2C is difficult to define, but we would like to define it first before we move on. What we mean by D2C is, let's say a consumer plans or comes up with a product, and this will be sold directly to other consumers. That's what we mean by D2C. And this is what we would like to try this fiscal year.
具体的にどういうことかと申し上げますと、ここに書いてあります通り、
So as you can see here,
服を買うという行動に関して、かなり影響を及ぼせるであろうインフルエンサーの方を
we would like to work with
していただ
influencers
きまして、商品企画から携わっていただくと。
and have them take part in product planning
こちらはですね、
and the manufacturing of this product. We have the know-how from PB and MSP, so we manufacture product ourselves. So we will utilize our capability to manufacture products planned by influencers. And this will be sold on ZOZOTOWN or the brand's own EC shops. And these will be promoted on the social networks and by influencers. So that's something that we would like to try this year. Luckily, we have many people unaware that our influencers have potential to become influencers, and there are some people who may not realize that they have so much influence, but there are great potential influencers unaware, so we would like to have their help in trying to make sure that this business model works. This may change the way the apparel industry works as well, because individuals are more important nowadays. So an individual can now produce or plan products and sell products. So this may have a great impact. So we want to make sure that we get in there and be one of the first to try. Other than that, we're planning various different things. So we've written here cosmetics. This too, the blue box right now says it's a question mark as to how we are going to sell, but we do have a prototype already to help sell cosmetics. So we're currently doing our best to develop a technology or a solution to help sell cosmetics in a innovatively new way. Other than that, maybe luxury brands is another area that we would like to give another try, and business and casual wear, we want to do that in a way that helps companies, contributes to companies' welfare program. So we hope to also expand our product lineup in this way. So I've covered the selling space, and product lineup expansion. Now, last area that I would like to talk about is the revenue model expansion. What we will be doing first, for example, is it's quite simple. and this will probably have, although it's simple, it will have significant impact
この商品、この商品詳細画面と我々呼んでおりますけれども、
on
こ
ZOZOTOWN.
ちらでですね、リアル店
This
舗
is
であれ
the
ば、
product
ど
inventory
こどこ店
screen,
に在庫ありますよというの
and
を
we would
表
like
示
to
する
start
サービス
showing
を考えております。
where
も
the
ちろん
inventory is
ブランドの許
available
可
in
な
the
くそれができるわ
physical
けではないの
stores.
で、
Of course, we need
ブ
the
ランドさんの許
brand's
可を得て、やるというのが
approval
前
to
提
do
なん
so,
ですけれど
but
も、
we would like to
これ
start
は一つの例
sharing
ですけれども、
information
こういった
about
形で
where,
ですね、
in which shops
リアル
the
店舗を含
inventory
めた
is
業
available.
界のデジタルシフトというの
So
を
we
全
would
力
like
で
to
サポートすることを行っています。
include the
こ
brick
ち
and
らの
mortar
内容
stores
は、3月末に
and
ですね、
help the brands
Z ホールディングスが発
go
表した
digital.
クロスショッピング、ね、
So this is a
実際、
cross shopping
ペイペイ
that
モー
we
ルの方で実
introduced,
現すると
announced at
いう
the
ものです
end
けれ
of
ども、こち
March,
らも
which
ペイ
we
ペイモ
will
ールゾゾ店として、しっか
start
り、
with PayPay Mall.
そこをやっていくという話を差し上げましたが、ZOZO タウン本店においてですね、
But
同
we
じよ
will
うな
also
仕組
want
みを
to
導入
do
してやる
something
ことを
similar on ZOZOTOWN as well.
でこれはですね、非常にこのリアル店舗支援の第一歩でしかないか
So
と。
this is just only the first step in
他に
helping the physical
こんなことも考
stores.
えており
And
ま
this
す。
is something else that we're also thinking about.
一番左がですね、今申し上
On
げ
the
た
far left is what we just
まあ
talked
実際
about.
に、誘客をするスタートで店舗のチェックイン機能というものを
So
提供したり、
we can introduce the
店舗に
inventory and add a
入店していただけれ
check-in
ばですね、
function to the
そこにお
store.
いて、
And once they
まあ
enter the
我々が
store,
持っているコーディネートデータとかをですね、
we have a lot of
分割
coordination,
もしくは
styling photos
その
and
お客
data,
様の
so we can utilize that, or the purchase history of the customer to enrich the type of customer service they receive in the store.
店員さんのですね、接客用の端末で実現するとか、
So
サ
we
イネ
can
ージで実現するとか、いろんな方法が
offer that
あ
kind
る
of
と
service on the
た
signage
だ
or
いずれにせよ
the
このサービス、この
iPad
仕組みというのは
or
我々だからこそで
that
きる
the staff might be using.
ゾゾタウン上で、集めたいろんな
But we are the
データ
only,
ベースをどんどんどんどん
because we have so much data and know-how, we are able to offer this type of
サー
service,
ビスに
unparalleled service. So that's something that we would like to
それ以
do.
外にもですね、そのペイペイによるキャッシュレス決済あります
And
し、
we have the PayPay cashless payment service as well.
あった場合、それが家に帰ったら例えば割引のクーポンが届くとか、
And if they were interested in a product that,
ずっと昔から言われている
and by the time they go home, they may receive a push notification, a coupon for that product. So we want to
進むであろうと思いますし、我々としても進めていこうと。
make sure that we're helping the omni-channel efforts
はい。以上
as well.
3本の拡張の話を
So
差し上げました。
we talked about 3 areas in which we want to
はい
expand.
このようにですね、ゾゾタウンを基軸としながら、
So we will, ZOZOTOWN will be central, but we hope to expand the selling space,
といった3本の軸で
products, and the revenue stream.
もちろん、コロナのですね、
Of course,
状況の収束次第で
it depends on when the coronavirus situation gets under control.
我々としては、
But as we
まずは
mentioned before,
足元、業界の、
we want to do
支援、とにかく
as much as we can
もちろんそこに我々
to
としてもプロモーション
sell
としても
products
参
to
加しております。
support the brands in the fashion industry.
この
And we will
状況下だからこそ、やはりゾゾタウンで
Undertake the necessary promotions to do so. And even in this situation, the brands want to sell on our platform, maybe especially because of the situation, brands want to sell on our platform, so we want to support them as well, make that possible. So we want to come up with various ideas to
はい。
help in the areas that we can.
今年は突き進んでいきますので、
That is our policy for
私から
this fiscal year, so we hope to have your continued support. Thank you very much.
それでは以上をもちまして
That is it for
2020年3
the
月
FY2019 consolidated business result
お忙
announcement.
しい中ご視聴くださいまして
Thank you for
誠にあり
watching,
がとうござい
taking
ま
time
した
out of your busy schedule to watch. Thank you.